Hope's Peak High School. A hell on earth where the only way to graduate is murder. As long as you don't get caught, you go free. And now Mizuno's dead. Butchered. The prime suspect is me. Thing is, I'm innocent. She would tell you herself. I couldn't hurt a fly. Here we go. Good luck, everybody. We're gonna need it. Holy crap, swank for a courtroom.
Goody gumdrop! Took your time, I see. Be honest now. You were expecting something considerably less tasteful.
Screwed up either way, if you ask me!
Before we start, I have a question relevant to our task. Why the portraits?
Why not? Just because they're dead, I'd hate for them to miss the proceedings.
And the extra podium belongs to whom? Counting our departed classmates, we number 15. Why 16 places?
You're reading too much into it, darling. The extra podium just means this courtroom is tricked out for a maximum of 16 jurors. Speaking of which, that's all the time we've got for pleasantries. Ladies and germs, time to get judicial.
This is jacked up. Nobody here really thinks one of us killed her.
You'd be correct, my boy. No room for doubt, I'm afraid.
Right, everybody close your eyes. If you're the murderer, raise your hand.
Yeah, that'll float like an old lady's fart.
Yuck, 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 yuck. Enough chit-chat. Commence the beating for your lives.
Gotta stay focused. Unless I can convince him that I didn't do it, we're all done for.
Knowing where to start's half the battle.
Well, I suggest we begin by considering the murder weapon itself, see where that takes us.
We can be sure it was the weapon because of where it was found. Sticking out of the victim's midsection is not generally where a knife is kept.
Congratulations, you're good.
Don't blow him off, it's important.
What?
Just stop and think about it for a sec. The knife had to come from the kitchen.
So does that mean anyone who was in the kitchen last night is a suspect?
He's just trying to get us to split hairs. He's the killer, remember?
Wait, you know what? I think I can prove Naegi isn't the one who took it. Huh? I would know, because Sakura and me spent most of the day yesterday hanging out in the cafeteria. I'm sorry. Sakura is who exactly? No offense.
None taken. We were there until late, enjoying a lovely evening tea as it happens.
I was on edge. Sakura was sweet enough to keep me company and try and calm my nerves.
Well, what if you both did it? If you teamed up, you just have to keep your story straight.
Oh, please note, if 2 or more people team up to commit murder, only the actual killer is eligible for graduation. No exceptions!
Yes, it's clearly stated in the rules.
I see. In other words, no one stands to gain anything from opting to team up.
Yeah, fine. Then stop beating around the bush and tell us who took the knife already! Swim Hase, you take that back!
As Asahina said, we were there for some time. We know who took the knife because we witnessed its removal.
Why did you not mention this sooner?
I guess because it's rude to speak ill of the dead.
Wait, what?
It was Mizuno. I don't know why, but it was definitely her.
But that doesn't make sense. Why would she take the knife?
I'm afraid there can be no doubt.
How does royal milk tea sound? You're nice enough to stay here. I should go all out.
Hmm?
Oh, hi. Just thought I'd get myself something to drink. At the time, it didn't strike me as weird or anything.
Nor I.
I see. So the victim procured the weapon that would then end her life.
Good night. Sweet dreams.
Yes.
Huh?
Good
Sure.
night.
Same to you.
Of course, yeah. She must have wanted it to protect herself.
That being the case, the very thing she thought to fend off her attacker with proved her undoing. Simple, tragic irony at its finest.
Yeah, no kidding.
All the same, Naegi, you're still rather far from clearing your name in this bloody business.
Aha! See? There's murder written all over his face!
Damn it, I told you it wasn't me!
Do on guard, everyone! He's attempting to steer the debate in his favor! What a skilled manipulator you are!
Come on! Why aren't you getting it? If you pin this on me, we all get executed!
Careful. I'm of the opinion it's still too early to point the finger at Naegi. There's evidence we're not considering.
You believe me?
What evidence?
I submit to you all the state of the crime scene. Did the culprit appear to have easy access to the shower? I think not.
What are you driving at?
The doorknob to my shower was thrashed. I saw it.
In point of fact, it did look like it had seen better days.
So, what is that supposed to prove except he broke it to get at his prey? Animal!
That one small detail convinces me that Naegi couldn't have been the murderer.
What, are you nuts? He needed in. Boom! He broke it. End of story. He didn't have any choice because she locked the door on him.
I can prove you wrong! The shower doors don't lock in the boys' rooms. Only the girls' showers do.
Yeah? And how do you know that?
Monokuma said so himself. Our showers don't have locks installed. Go on, sir, tell him.
Huh? Yeah, sure, whatever.
But then why'd the killer have to go to the trouble of breaking the doorknob to get at Mizuno?
Because my door's wonky. There's a trick to opening it. They didn't know. Figured the door was locked. For all intents and purposes, to them it was a girl's room. They'd have thought the only option was to bust the doorknob.
If Naegi were the murderer, he'd have been aware the door doesn't lock, and knowing the trick to opening it, simply walked in.
Makes sense, I suppose.
Whoa, thank you.
Don't get too comfortable. We're not done yet.
Let us assume the murderer is someone else. Where would they get the idea the door was locked? Were they not aware that the two had switched rooms? And why be there if they didn't?
That's the point. From the evidence, I think we can safely assume the killer believed he or she was actually in Mizuno's room.
Let me get this straight. You're saying the culprit was in the dark about the room swap? Please! We were all in the dark about it!
This ain't exactly narrowing our list of suspects!
So, then we put it to a majority vote!
That could work. Yeah, I mean, we are in a bit of a pinch, right? Either we put someone on the chopping block or we all get the axe.
No need to throw our hands in the air, Yasuhiro. The devil is in the details. I urge you all to focus. Now that I think about it, if Mizuno was freaked out like Naegi says, how'd the killer get into the room to begin with? She wouldn't have let him in. Was the lock picked?
Not possible! The tumblers are all reinforced electronically!
Prepare yourselves for an ingenious bit of sleuthing, friends. Contrary to the assumption we've been laboring under, I put it to you that Mizuno indeed let the killer in herself.
Come on, man. We've been over this. She was too scared to open the door.
Ah, you certainly have the right to your opinion, bud. Yeah, Dick! I'd agree with you, except we'd both be wrong!
I know what I saw. When she came to me, she was practically in tears. Whatever you do, don't open the door. Promise me.
You got it. That door staying locked, even if I know it's you on the other side, would sort of defeat the purpose of swapping rooms otherwise, right?
I don't know about you, but I have a pretty hard time believing she'd answer the door after saying something like that.
Perhaps that was the idea. Her terror could have been a ruse.
No! She wouldn't lie to me! Mizuno and I were friends!
Yes, I will grant you it is an unpleasant possibility to consider, but I'm afraid necessary.
There's something I want to talk about in private. Please come to my room. Make sure to check the nameplate so you don't go to the wrong room by mistake. Sayaka Mizuno.
What's that supposed to be?
The impression of a letter she wrote. I found it on the notepad in your room. I'm sorry. Are you trying to say it was you who wrote this?
No, it wasn't.
Of course not. I thought as much. As you can see, the signature is quite legible.
I don't get it. Why would she...
I think she wrote this letter with the intent of luring someone to their death.
Someone would have to be dead inside to overlook a personal invitation from a teen idol of Mizuno's caliber. That is, unless they were already perfectly satisfied with those of the 2D variety.
Yes, but the note clearly says to come to her room. So there we have it then, don't we? She wasn't in her room. Right. Whoever it was would have gone to where Naegi was by mistake.
Ah, but they wouldn't have, you see. Mizuno was clever.
Really? How so?
After she and Naegi switched rooms, she slipped out and swapped their nameplates. My notebook missed this detail entirely.
Then she was luring someone into Naegi's room.
Well, if memory serves, I believe the phrase tossed out a little earlier was luring someone to their death.
Yes, seems so. And it's the only logical conclusion left. Of course, that points the finger away from Naegi.
Finally.
Fine, whatever. So who killed her?
Isn't it obvious? Whoever she invited to my room turned the tables on her. Got to her first.
We're actually going with this idea that she swapped rooms with Naegi to try and off someone?
Far from the worst of gambits. Once the deed was done, she'd have an out. She had but to switch the nameplates back to pin it on you.
She'd never do that!
Oh, please, wake up! What could she have possibly been up to if not that? Her fatal misstep, of course, was inadvertently giving her prospective victim the opportunity to fight back.
They got the first strike in with that katana!
No, that was used in self-defense.
Yes, the damage to the sheath implies as much. Had things gone according to plan, Mizuno would be standing here now, pointing the finger at Naegi.
I trusted her. Why would she?
Why wouldn't she? It was an ironclad way out of here, was it not?
If we omit the fact that it was a spectacular failure, yes. Poor fool.
Don't talk about her like that!
Oh, I'm sorry. You have a reason to defend her?
No, but still!
Calm down. This isn't the time to argue. Focus.
Yes, quite right. The murderer is still at large, and time is short.
Let's get to it then. It's one of us.
Well, duh. But how the hell do we pick?
We're all goners, I knew it! I'm too young to die! It's not fair!
I gotta think. If we don't figure out who killed her, it's the end for all of us. There's gotta be something we've missed.
Well, guess that's pretty much it for us. Damn! If only there was more to go on, right? We're out of clues.
That's where you're wrong!
The hell am I missing then?
Something pretty big, actually. She left us a message. Not the one on the notepad.
What? What are you driving at?
She left a dying message. One scrawled in blood on the wall behind her.
That's right! What did it say?
You mean that random string of numbers?
Hey, you're supposed to be some kind of crazy genius with numbers, ain't you? The one she left behind mean anything special or what?
I tried every decryption trick in the book, but whatever they're supposed to mean, it's not code I know. I'm sorry.
Break it down. When things took a turn, Mizuno ran for the shower, but the killer forced his way in. Did he already have the knife? That's it! I've got it! The message wasn't a string of numbers. She wrote out her killer's name! If you flip those marks around 180 degrees, there you have it. Plain as day. L-E-O-N. What do you know? That's your name, isn't it? Leon Kuwata. So, Leon, if you got anything to say, now's the time.
Disappointing, Leon.
Give me a break! You're not seriously listening to this lying little punk?
Mizuno identified her murderer from beyond the grave. A name written as her life ebbed away.
Scrawled that way because the angle of her head. Poor girl probably didn't have the energy left to hoist herself around the right direction.
Maybe someone's trying to frame me. You think of that? Everything you've got is circumstantial!
Let's assume you're not the perpetrator. Care to explain why you tried to destroy evidence?
Somebody explain!
Yeah, of course. She means those charred pieces of shirt and glass ball fragments we found in the garbage room.
Right! I'd forgotten all about those!
You know, come to think of it, I haven't seen my crystal ball in a while. Think that's what happened to it?
Well, Naegi, seems you and I are of the same opinion. Puzzle it out yet?
Here's what I believe happened. Mizuno's killer was in over his head. He hadn't planned on killing anyone that night. The evidence had to be dealt with fast. Unfortunately, the garbage room was on lockdown. This is where Hagakure's missing glass ball comes in. Activating the incinerator from the other side of the gate would have been near impossible for almost anyone. Our culprit had mad skills. Specifically, super high school level baseball player skills. All finished, our perp figured he could chill, walk back to his room like nothing had happened. That, as it turns out, was his big mistake. A scrap of the burning blood-stained shirt sleeve fell out. Gotcha. Hard evidence. He thought he'd improvised the perfect crime, when in fact he'd left a trail leading us right to him. Deny if you want. That's how it went.
You stand accused. Now'd be the time to object.
Object? Yeah, let me think about that. You're damn right I object! This is all a bunch of BS! How hell do they know? Think I'm taking the rap?
You're the only one here with the athletic chops to throw Hagakure's glass ball far enough and hard enough to hit the incinerator switch, and you know it!
Never! Yeah, nice try, but screw you! What about Yamada? He's on trash detail! He could have unlocked the gate!
Which is exactly why he wouldn't have needed to use the ball. He would have just used his access key and walked off without any of us having a clue.
Ha ha! Yeah, big man trying to trick me into fessing up! Well, like I said, it's all circumstantial!
Maybe. But there's still one vital piece of evidence that points directly at you.
What, are you gonna make something up now?
The bathroom, the doorknob, the screws were removed.
Who gives a flying rat's ass?
How exactly do you think the murderer removed those screws, huh?
Whenever you're driving that jerkwad, you're barking up the wrong tree!
Well, if what I'm driving at is on the money, there'll be proof in your toolkit. How about you give us a look?
Never, 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 never! This is a sham! I'm warning you, dude! Back off!
You're guilty, Leon Kawata! I demand you show us what's inside your toolkit. Come on! What's the big deal? What have you got to hide?
Bear in mind, if it's been used, prepare to explain, in minute detail, until every last one of us is satisfied.
And under the circumstances, not knowing is not going to be acceptable.
Never.
Predictable. He has nothing to say in his defense.
I'm sorry, man.
I'd say you kids have hashed this one out nicely. Major kudos. Let's move on to voting time. Kindly lock in your votes by pressing the switches there in front of you. Who's the guilty so-and-so? Feel good about your final choice? And the award goes to... Well done, peeps! Sayaka Mizuno's murderer was indeed Leon Kawata!
Oh, wow.
You dumbass! What the hell got into you?
I didn't want to. She was trying to kill me, right? I didn't know what else to do, okay?
What if she'd have gone after you? You'd all done the same thing in my shoes!
Right, so there you have it. Excellent job dispensing tough justice. And I mean that. Moving on now to the punishment phase.
No, I didn't have a choice! The crazy skank was gonna kill me! What was I supposed to do? Come on, guys, I acted in self-defense! Special circumstances! I'm not really a murderer!
Yes, I'm sure we're all relieved to hear that. But rules are rules. Too bad, so sad.
That's not right!
Right? Right, don't enter into it, sweetheart. You killed and got caught, which means you die.
No! No! Get me out of this place!
All-star athlete Leon Kawata, whose talents behind the plate certainly held more promise than his career as a lady killer, I've come up with a very special method of execution. Play ball!
No!
all extreme! I feel the adrenaline coursing through me like lightning!
What is going on here? Someone I can't take it.
Now, it's not so bad once you get used to it. Abandon all hope of seeing the light of day again and you'll be fine. Promise. Of course, now that I hear myself say it out loud, it does sound pretty cruel. There, Naegi. It's all right, I know.
No, what are you talking about?
Don't be like that. Mizuno sold you up the river. You're hurting. It's fine.
Screw you! You did this. It was all your fault from beginning to end!
Don't, Naegi, don't lose it. Think about this. You will never avenge her if you get killed too.
Damn it! Damn it all!
I know now's probably not the best time, but I need to talk with you.
It's about her, isn't it? Mizuno.
Yeah. I'll be frank. It may be undeniable that Mizuno meant to frame you for murder. The facts paint too clear a picture. That said, what do you imagine her dying thoughts were?
How the hell should I know?
Naegi, I'm serious. You knew her well enough to speculate. Personally, I believe her last thoughts were of how to save you. I think we can surmise that's what she wanted in the end. Why else leave the message, correct? She certainly didn't have to.
Yeah, nice try. I wish I could believe that, but all she really wanted was to make sure Leon paid for killing her.
I beg to differ. In fact, she never meant to hurt you. She wasn't a killer, nor was she comfortable with deceiving you. Sadly, she hesitated when she ought to have been bold, and wound up dead. Rather a high price to pay.
So, why are you telling me this?
Because I think you're strong. You can push through this intact. Resilience is a rare quality in people. I sense it in you. Of course, there's always the chance I'm reading too much into things. But for your sake, I hope I'm not.
You expect me to just push through the death of a friend? If that's what you're talking about, then I'm not your guy. When someone I care about dies, I don't move on. I carry it with me. Forever. It's who I am. Mizuno and Kawada's deaths. I'm not sweeping them under the rug. I'm not the type who just forgets. If I get out of here, I'll still be haunted by them. I'll always look back!
How noble. A difficult path, but noble. Still, though, I have hope. So, while I'm here, and it may be silly to ask, what precisely keyed you into the fact that I'd pop by to speak with you about Mizuno?
Oh, I can read your mind. Kidding. Intuition.